Everybody said that this place was the street photography capital of the world. And yeah, it's pretty good. I arrived in Hanoi after spending a couple of weeks in Indonesia, and honestly, the two places had a lot of similarities. It's got traffic that would gridlock Perth for days, busy wholesale markets everywhere, and yes, you guessed it, some banger food. Though the question that everybody is wondering is the food better here than in Indonesia? Well, actually, isn't this a street photography video? And speaking of photography, I'd only have 2 full days in Hanoi. Originally, it was going to be a whole week in the city, but after being in Jakarta and Jogja for a couple of weeks, I was just I guess I was just kind of getting some city fatigue, some street photography fatigue by this point in the journey, and I was just keen to get back to my landscape roots. So I made a last minute change and traded 5 days in Hanoi to spend some time in the mountains, but more on that in a future video. But yeah, with only 2 days in the city, I definitely didn't have enough time to explore as much as I would have liked, but with enough of these bad boys running through my veins, anything is possible. As usual, I'd find the cheapest hotel, though at least this one had some nice patterns on the ceiling. Anyway, my first stop was this bridge that I think every photographer in Hanoi has at least visited once.
So good morning from Hanoi. Today I'm going to do a huge photo walk. I'm going to be walking around all day, see what kind of shots I can get. I wanted to start on top of this bridge here. I just see it everywhere, all over social media, so I thought, why not just start here? I was hoping to get like a golden sunrise, but it looks like it's super cloudy. It doesn't look like it's going to work out, which is okay. But in typical me fashion, there is a market next door, so I feel like I've explored so many markets in Jakarta, but what's one more? I'm here, so I may as well. It does look similar to the ones in Jakarta, so I don't know how long I'll be here for, but let's just see what kind of shots I can pick up. Anyway, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long photo walk, so yeah, let's see what we can cook up.
On my way down to the market, I ran into another photographer, and we got to chatting and we just started shooting together, which was really cool. Though because I'm an anxious little boy, I didn't really feel comfortable stopping to film everything, so I didn't get too much footage of this part. But it was really great to shoot with someone else. I'm always a little nervous when I start shooting in a very public place like this, but having another photographer there kind of just broke down that awkwardness pretty much immediately. All my photography is pretty much done solo. I've never done a photo walk with another photographer before. So this was kind of cool because we were just spotting different things that I just normally would have avoided otherwise. For example, under that famous bridge, there were a few stalls, but at the time it was still very early in the morning and there just wasn't much light. I was back to using my f4 zoom again, which wasn't ideal, so I didn't think it was worth shooting at the time, so I figured I'd just come back later to get some shots. But around the corner, me and this other photographer, we were comparing the photos that we had taken, and he had this one from under the bridge, and he was saying, oh, this one's too dark, it doesn't look very good, but I was like, whoa, hey, I reckon there's a banger there. So I backtracked to the bridge and I got this shot, which I absolutely love. Honestly, I think this might be my favorite shot from all of Hanoi, and I got it in my first 30 minutes of shooting. We're peaking early here, just like how I peaked back in 6th grade. I really enjoy the layers of subjects in this shot. Like, you have the guy in the foreground to the left, his arm leads down to the main subject on the right, and that person is looking in the direction of the guy all the way in the back. It's just a really nice image that I was so close to not getting if it wasn't for this other photographer. Unfortunately, our blossoming friendship was short-lived because after heading into this inside area, I lost track of my new photographer friend and I didn't find him again. I didn't even catch his name or let alone his Instagram or anything, so I guess that was that. Anyway, I made my way back outside, and this time to this little outdoor area that was a little bit quieter than the rest. And it looked like everyone was setting up these stalls. felt like just wherever I looked in this market, there was some really cool composition. And I'm not sure if shooting in Indonesia prepped me for this, or if it was my new best friend from earlier, or if it was the non-stop Vietnam is the greatest street photography place in the world. Honestly, it's probably a mixture of everything, but I did find that I was beating my street photography anxiety in this market, and I was feeling great, and I was just really throwing myself into the action. Even though it's a pretty colourful scene, I put together these black and white edits, which honestly I think hit so hard. I know that people are going to say that these are way too dark, and you know what, I just gotta say it. You probably got a point with this one. There was also this fish market section with yellow boxes similar to that one fish market back in Jakarta. Though it seemed like everyone was pretty much wrapping up over here. But the first shot I grabbed in this section was a little bit of a banger, if I do say so myself. As usual, the compositions were all pretty chaotic. Most of the time I was relying on long exposures to capture the movement of the space. And I think that worked out pretty well. Anyway, just a little bit later, I came across this couple in their little shop, and as soon as this woman saw me with my camera, she got up and left and came back with a cat for me to photograph. And I don't know, I feel like these shots just capture so much joy. And I can't help but just smile when I look at them. It had already been a couple of hours in the market, so I decided to head back to that bridge where I started the photo walk, though I still managed to get some shots along the way, and this first one I actually really like.
Okay, so we're back at where I started in the morning. I'm going to try and get some more shots because I think the shots this morning, there just wasn't enough light, especially with the f4. So I'm going to try and get some more shots here, but it's much busier, so I'll probably be here for a while waiting for the right subject to come past, but we'll see how we go.
So yeah, that was just a lie because I didn't stay here for too long at all. Honestly, I'm not really sure I worked the scene as much as I could have here, but I was just pretty keen to find another location by this point. On the other side of the bridge, I saw this scene, and it's like the perfect shot. Has leading lines, a very small human in the shot to show scale. But as soon as I stopped recording this little video and I went to go reach for my camera, there was one guy there. He's like, whoa, whoa, no, you can't be here. So I guess this little clip will have to do. But you can see the vision, right?
So yeah, that was the market. I said it was going to be quick, but I was there for about 3 hours. But it was good. Again, it was a lot of fun. Everyone was really nice. I don't really know where I'm going next. I think it's like 9 o'clock, so still got plenty of time. I was hoping for some sun. Doesn't look like there's much sun. Like it's out a little bit now, but it's going to be an overcast day. But anyway, it is what it is. Good start to Vietnam.
So I came across another pretty popular photography spot while making my way into the old quarter. Though I didn't really hang around too much here because I just feel like I've seen this spot so much online. Instead of offering any help to this lady struggling to move this huge bag down the stairs, I just decided to take some photos instead. And man, these shots aren't even that good, so I just felt bad and had to get the hell out of there.
So I just got a shot here, there, with the guy in silhouette, but then a lady in red showed up, so I got a shot of her as well. Let's see which one looks better. I think I will prefer the silhouette one, but the red would be a nice touch of color. So we will see.
So here's that red one, but I do think I prefer the silhouette one a bit more. Not just because he's in silhouette, I just think his pose is a bit more interesting than the woman standing there in red, but I don't know. Just as I was about to move on, the sun popped out very briefly, and man, it just really made me wish there was going to be more of it today. A good photographer doesn't blame the weather, but I do. I think if I had some more direct sun here, then these shots would be a little bit better. Like, they're not bad per se, but I just think some direct sun would really help out a bit. Though with that said, these next few shots are probably some of my favorites in all of Hanoi. I just think that the colors are really nice here, and I especially like this one. The color contrast is really what makes it. The blue on the left and the warm light on the right. It's just a really pleasing image. So by this time I'd finally made it into the old quarter, and I was really vibing with the shots I was getting at the time, but I don't know, like in the editing room, I think most of them turned out pretty meh. Though I do like this one, and it's a pretty different shot to what I would normally get. I think this image tells a bit more of a story, even though it's a pretty basic story at that, of someone buying or haggling for fish. I've kept mentioning in the past few videos that I'm really trying to find something different with my street photography, and I think this image is a good example of what I'm looking for. Like, for lack of a better way of describing it, my normal images, they're kind of like a movie poster vibe, like they're grand, they're very dramatic, but sometimes they don't exactly tell a story, they're just aesthetic. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm still going to take these images because I like finding them out in the public, especially when they're not exactly obvious to the average passerby. But yeah, I think this image is different. It's not particularly dramatic, like the lighting is just like, it is what it is, but there is a story there, and I like that. I like the framing too, like you can see this triangle shape between all three people. I like that the woman is standing over everyone, and I think her facial expression is engaging and interesting. To be honest, I also just like that I stepped outside my comfort zone here. Like, normally I would have taken this shot at a bit of a distance, but I took this one with a wide angle and super close to the subjects. I did take some frames while standing a bit further back and while a bit more zoomed in, but I just don't think they work as well as this one does. Then I made my way to this lake in the middle of the city, but I was definitely there at the wrong time because the midday light just really wasn't giving me much to work with. I think it's just the wrong time to visit that place. I think you really need to be there at like sunset or sunrise. The lighting just isn't right now. It's like 12 o'clock now, and I told myself I wasn't going to shoot all day. I was going to have a break. Anyway, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long photo walks, but I've got an energy, so I'll keep going. I don't know where I'm going to go, but we'll just see what happens. I had been shooting for a while by this point, and I think I was just forcing myself to keep going because I knew I just had such little time in the city. But nevertheless, I continued walking for a little bit and got this banger, so hey, can't complain. So I decided to stop for my second lunch of the day, and like I said, I'm only here for 2 days, so not only do I have to cram in as much photography as I possibly can, I have to cram in as much food as I can physically handle as well in these 2 days. So I came across this restaurant, but there was no line outside, so I thought I'd give it a go. And man, Southeast Asian food, I don't know what it is or how they do it, but it's just banger after banger, hit after hit. Come on. The food here just hits differently, and this pho was no exception. It was so incredibly good. I heard that if you're in a foreign-speaking country that doesn't speak English, but you're at a restaurant and you're having no issues reading the menu, like it's in full English or it has photos of every menu item, then it's most likely not an authentic kind of place. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there are many authentic places that do have English speaking menus with images, and there are many inauthentic places that have banger food. This is just more of like a rule of thumb. It's not exactly a hard and fast rule. But the reason I think it's mostly true is that the locals know what they're getting. They don't need images in their menus, but the dumb tourists like me, we do need the images in the menus. And the touristy places would normally cater to the masses, so you're not really getting like the real authentic thing. And I think if you're traveling this far, like you're spending all this money and time to get here, why would you not seek out the authentic thing? So if you're at a place and you're struggling to read the menu, like no one speaks English and there's no images, then I think it's a high chance that you're going to a place that the locals would actually go for. And I'm not even sure that this restaurant I'm at right now is the place I'm describing, because it is pretty close to the Old Quarter, which is a very touristy part of town. But also take this food advice with a bit of grain of salt, because I'm the kind of guy who unironically thinks that Subway is probably the best sandwich in the world. I'm dead serious, I'm not even joking. Like at my peak, I'd have Subway like 3 to 4 times a week, and I'd have more if I could. Like, man, I'm probably, after I'm done recording this voiceover bit, I'm probably gonna go get a sub for lunch. Like, I love this place. Actually, while we're at it, why don't you comment your go-to Subway orders down below, and I'm gonna review each and every single one. But yeah, anyway, the tip is just to try and avoid English-speaking menus. Try and go a few blocks outside the touristy areas and avoid places that only have images on the menu. And if you do that, I think you're gonna get some banger food. Alright, so I'm back in Perth. I'm at one of my favourite pho places, and I want to see, after having that banger pho in Hanoi, I want to see if this place that I really like is as good as I remember. Because I remember when I was travelling through Italy, I was having a lot of pizza, as you do in Italy, and it was really good. But when I came home and I had I had pizza at home, the pizza at home actually was so much more similar to the stuff in Italy that I remember. So I want to see if that's the same case here, because this is just like a local, casual Vietnamese place. So I want to see if I enjoy it as much as I remember after having that pho in Hanoi. Oh yeah, and I'm recording in my car because I'm too embarrassed to film in the restaurant. So yeah, let's go. Can I just get a raw beef pho, please? Dining, please, and also can and Pepsi Max. Thank you so much. Thank you. The one from Hanoi was way better. Way better. But that's still pretty good. But Hanoi, the one I had in Hanoi, 10 out of 10. So yeah, banger food in Hanoi. Who would have thought? But now it was time to trade one delicacy for another. And honestly, I think this one hit just as hard as the meal. So I came by this little market area, but I think the banger food I think it took all the energy out of me, and I just found myself super tired. So I decided to bail on the photo walk a bit early, but I was gonna head back out for sunset later that night. So I'm back in the hotel now. I'm just gonna chill for like an hour or so. To be honest, I was kind of like, I wasn't sure how to feel about doing more street photography because I'd been in Jakarta for so long and I was kind of getting a bit fatigued by it. So fatigued to the point where I originally was going to be in Hanoi for 7 days, but now I'm only being in Hanoi for 2 days because I didn't think I wanted to be in the city so much. But now that I've been in the city, now that I've had a really good photo walk at the beginning of the day, I kind of regret that. I kind of wish I had more time in Hanoi. I don't know where I'm going to go tonight. I might go back to the Old Quarter and I might go, I don't know what the lake is called, or at the lake where I took that really crappy photo. I might go back there because I have a feeling during like golden hour that would really shine. So I might do that. We'll see. I don't really have a plan. I'm probably not going to go see the train, like the train street. Like I've seen that place everywhere. Like we've all seen the photos. I don't think my photo is going to be any better than anyone else's. I don't really see the point. I might visit it tomorrow morning. Like hopefully there's a sunrise tomorrow morning. Hopefully I can get some nice light coming through tomorrow morning when it's empty. But the train itself, I don't think I really care about that, to be completely honest. So that's a long way of me saying that I don't know what I'm going to be doing tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, after a couple of hours of much needed rest, I did end up heading back into the old quarter. I knew I wouldn't have much time to look for a new photo location before sunset, so I didn't want to waste any time and I just headed back here because I knew I'd find some frames. And I got this photo, which honestly I really like. I just think this woman looks so gangster. Clearly though, I had returned in peak hour traffic because it was just so much busier than before. Anyway, sunset was coming in pretty quickly and I was still in the old quarter. Though for sunset, I decided to visit a different lake nearby instead of the one that I visited in the middle of the day. But before I left, there was this pots and pan place in front of me, and I really liked how the light was just hitting everything at the front. I started walking over to the lake, but it was clear that I was just way too far away to make it for sunset, so I just caught a scooter in instead. While I was out there, another photographer got some pretty awesome candid shots of me. I saw him pointing the camera in my direction and I walked over and asked what kind of shots he got. And yeah, they looked so good. This one is a banger. I was pretty much looking for this exact composition and subject while I was out there, but I didn't get lucky with it. And it turns out that I, in fact, was the subject this whole time. I'd be so happy if I took this shot, so thanks for sending them to me.
I think I'm going to take it really easy tomorrow. I got so many shots this morning and so many bangers, I'm pretty sure, so many shots that I'm happy with, so I'm just going to take it easy tomorrow. It's my second and last day in Hanoi, which is annoying, but with such a short time in Hanoi, I don't think I can really cover everything, so I'm not going to spread myself too thin. I've done like a full day of photography. I might just chill tomorrow because yeah, like I can't really like cover all the bases, so I think that's the vague plan. But we'll see how it goes.
So, after a huge day, another banh mi was exactly what I needed to get back home. Oh yeah, and another one of these bad boys too. So I started off the next day with a walk around this market that was literally just outside my accommodation. It also looked like the weather was going to be pretty hit and miss again today, but that wasn't going to matter because I took literally no photos during the day today. I think I just burnt myself out yesterday because I was trying to do so much. I was just trying to see everything and visit everything because I knew my time in this city was really limited, and I guess it worked out because I got some shots that I'm really happy with. But yeah, today I just had little to no energy for any photography. The only shot I did get was this one of this guy sleeping inside the mechanic shop, and honestly, it's actually pretty good. But yeah, during the day, I kind of just aimlessly walked around and got some more banger food. So I've mentioned this a couple times in some of my videos, but I don't really do night photography. It's just, I don't know, not really my thing. But after not taking any shots during the day, I kind of figured, I don't know, why not give it a crack now? And I'm glad I did, because I actually really like these. I tried to lean into that Cinestill 800T vibe pretty heavily here, and I think it turned out super well. Past 2 days, I've been spending a lot of time in the old quarter. So I kind of just wanted to get out of the area this time. I was liking the quieter vibes from the earlier frames, so I decided to take a scooter to another part of town that I visited yesterday that I thought was going to give me some similar kind of vibes. And heading a bit further into the city was the right call, because this is the exact vibe that I was looking for. I love all the photos I took on this night photo walk, but I think this one might be my favorite. It has a cool subject and just the right amount of red to contrast all of that blue. And the leading lines of the red flags to the right, as well as the light reflecting on the wall to the left, just draw the eye into that subject. And I don't know, it's just a cool image. And this one also goes pretty hard. So I told myself that I wasn't going to visit it, but I swear I just stumbled across it as I was trying to find, I think my 5th banh mi of the past 2 days. But it sounded like the train was on its way, so I think this is just the universe telling me to stop complaining and just go and enjoy it. In Indonesia, if a train runs through a city or a suburb, it's considered a slum. But in Hanoi, you got yourself a world-class tourist attraction.
So it's my last full day in Hanoi. For today, it was a bit more of a chill day. Like I slept in, I didn't really have anywhere interesting to go. I just kind of bummed around the city. Yeah, because I know I didn't have enough time to explore all of Hanoi. I'm not even going to bother trying, you know what I mean? I did just finish that nighttime photo walk. I don't really do many nighttime photo walks, so I hope the images turned out well. I think they did. I think I got some really good ones in there. But yeah, I didn't really film that much today. So I hope this part of the video has been interesting. And if it hasn't, then I'm sorry for your loss. Sorry for wasting your time again. I am at some American style burger place and there's like a disco ball in front of me. So that's why there's this funky lighting. And yes, I am using my Action camera for my mic because I forgot my actual mic in the hotel. Anyway.
So we weren't exactly done with the photo walk just yet. I came across this Christmas light section in the old quarter. And yes, that is how far behind I am on editing these videos together. Anyway, I then made my way back to the start of the photo walk and it was super quiet. But with all the empty streets and all these street lights, it was just such a vibe. I really like this shot. Not only has it got that great color contrast, but I think the hat is what makes it here. Though, I think I might be a little bit biased with that. Also, if you're one of the few who hasn't fallen asleep while watching this long video, then you might remember this market I first visited in Hanoi yesterday. Well, that market is just around the corner, and I heard that they're busy stocking everything up for the next morning at this time of night. And like, I was pretty tired by this point, but I thought I'd just do a very quick photo walk just to check everything out. I somehow managed to stuff up my action camera settings here, so most of the footage is pretty unusable. And yes, this shaky footage you're looking at now is the usable part. Anyway, I saw this cool looking sign and I waited around to see what I could capture. I worked the scene a little bit, but now looking back, I probably could have been a bit more patient and waited for the right moment to capture. Yes, this street sign is interesting and I love its reflection in the window, but nothing is really happening in the frame, so I think I kind of rushed it a bit here. I wandered around for a bit more, but it was clear that I was just kind of forcing my creativity. I was so tired by this point. Like, here's an awesome scene right in front of me, but I didn't take the shot here because I think I was just too cooked to really concentrate. And here as well, this could have been a great wide shot, but I didn't even bother taking the photo. I started out in Hanoi with a lot of street photography and city fatigue. Like I said earlier, I just come from Jakarta and Jogja in Indonesia, and I was just really craving to shoot some different environments by this point. But Hanoi is a pretty easy place to do street photography, and it has a reputation for that for a very good reason. And pretty quickly I just got into the zone and produced some images that I'm really proud of. Ultimately, I do consider myself more of a landscape photographer than a street photographer, so I don't really regret cutting my time short in Hanoi, because I got to experience some pretty crazy looking landscapes instead, all from the back of a push bike with some really questionable front braking capabilities. But more on that soon.